This week's anonymous submissions are juicy, like really good. I think as women, men tend to overthink when we are interested or not and won't just ask us out or make excuses. I don't know if part of it is some of us may read as intimidating. I think you do, but not for bad reasons, obviously. Wait guys, am I intimidating? So my question is, what are some situations, if any, that you experienced where it was just like, dude, all you had to do was ask me out or ask me to get a coffee or something from the jump and I would have at least considered it, but you didn't do that, you were passive, and now you don't have a chance anymore, you fucked it up for yourself. Well, first of all, I like the way that you put that last part because yes, that is the exact perspective that I would have. Okay, so this week we're gonna be doing my evening skincare routine with a little bit of cleanse, a good amount of moisturizing. For skin reference, I have sensitive combination skin. I am somewhat acne prone, but just more so like sensitive. My breakouts are usually hormone based or if I'm like falling asleep with makeup on. And I don't really get oily except in my forehead area. And then the rest is like a goddamn flake fest. Okay, I am so dry skinned, it's insane. As always, all products will be linked down in the description for you guys, and that's also where you guys can submit your own anonymous submission, like the one that we're reading now, down below. Starting off though, we are about to dermaplane my upper lip, because sometimes a girl gets peach fuzz, and usually at night, I just dermaplaned underneath my brows, and I figured I would save this for you guys. We're gonna go in with the Nimbi kit. This is their Power Slip Dermaplaning Facial Oil. Why is it? And then their blade as well. I feel like it does just like such a good job. And I literally would just put a couple drops. What are some situations, if any, that you experienced where it was just like, dude, all you had to do was ask me out or ask me to get coffee from the jump? I talked about this in my last video. I simply just do not have the time. And what I mean by that is I do not have the time to wear the pants. I'm in a G-string, if anything. I no longer am doing that. So if you can't initiate a conversation of asking to take me out or to go on a date, then it's just not gonna happen. I don't chase, I attract, and I live by that, especially when it comes to this. And also, if you don't have it in you to be able to ask me out to a date, first of all, I didn't know I was intimidating. But even then, if I'm too intimidating for you to ask me out to get a coffee, to go out on a date, you were never gonna be able to handle me past going out on a date or getting coffee or whatever. Like, what were you gonna do when I'm PMSing? I think if a man can't get to the point of asking you to grab a drink, what else is he not going to be able to do just because you're intimidating? But I do think that that is very much a thing. I think that, and that goes for like just all genders and sex and stuff like that. I do think people get fairly intimidating, but as I always say, the worst thing somebody can do is tell you no. If you think about it like that, there's either you don't say anything and you don't ask, that's a no. You're basically rejecting yourself, or you ask them, which is the only chance you have at getting a yes. Do you guys really think I'm intimidating? I guess because in here, it's just like a fucking circus show that I find that everything's just like comedy and funny, and that's why sometimes I joke when I shouldn't be joking. But how do you deal with creative burnout and pushing through whenever you're not seeing any results? Ooh, this is a really good one. Career aside, whatever, I feel like we all go through burnout. Next up, I'm gonna be going in with the Garnier Skin Active Micellar Cleansing Water, all in one. Cleanses and removes makeup and soothes. No rinse, no rubbing, no residue. And I'm gonna be using their Eco Cleansing Pads that are like reusable. Yeah, they're washable, so. And they're pink, they're cute. As you guys can tell, I'm in like a pink kick. I don't know what's happening. I think I'm getting the sniffles. Hold on. I think I have the suds, you guys. Also, that's better. So I'm going to talk about this obviously in the perspective of content creating, which I think the pace at which society has us running on, it's kind of like inevitable. There's so many pipeline systems of you go to school and then you go to, you do pre-K and then you do elementary school and then you do middle school and then you do high school and then you do college and then boom, find a full-time job. Boom, get married. Boom, have kids. So it's just like we are running on a very around the clock type of society to where, again, like I said, I think burnout is just like really inevitable. I think it's hard to avoid burnout. I think creative burnout comes from overconsumption of stuff that's happening online. When you see all these different, I was talking about this with my friend the one time and I was just like, I feel like every time I scroll on social media, I'm being told I'm doing something wrong or I'm being showed 100 other things that I could be doing. But that's just because we are seeing way too much. I don't know if you guys have seen the guy that said he saw the top of Mount Everest from somebody's Instagram photo and deleted all of his social media because he was like, there's no reason I should be seeing that if I didn't go and do the hike myself. Like, there's no reason I should know what the top of that looks like as somebody who did not do what it took to get there and to see that. And I think that applies in a way to creative burnout. All these things that we're seeing, we're not supposed to be seeing. Like, that's why I did a social media cleanse where I absolutely unfollowed everybody, minus TikTok, on all social media platforms. And then I rebuilt my socials so that it is just things that are for me. Also, it's just like a creative person. I don't compare myself, so I'm not looking to do what somebody else is doing. I really spend a lot of my time with my creative ideas and then making them come to life. Go back to what you know you already love. Go back to what you've been loving, regardless of what other people are doing. And when it comes to not seeing results, I can speak about it on, again, a social media basis. I think results are self-based. I think we set the tone for what we decide is good results and bad results. One, I don't believe in failure. I think everything can be a lesson. So I'm also not somebody that views, likes, shares, that type of stuff is what dictates for me being super successful. For me, being successful means that I'm happy with what I did, regardless if it gets one view, if it gets one like. I think the number one thing I could say is when you're not seeing results is to ask yourself if what you're basing your results on, are you doing that based off of other people? And the answer is yes. Well, then that is the first thing you should work on. Stop comparing yourself to other people, because if you were meant to be other people, you would be other people. I think in this world of inclusivity, we've lost the sense of individuality. And I think it's so important for people to just be themselves. Of course, get inspo from other people. Sometimes scrolling and stuff like that is what you will get creative ideas from. But I find that my best ideas don't only come from myself and just being out and about or whatever, but talking to my friends or talking to people that I know. When you start to feel that burnout, let yourself burn out, in the sense of let yourself just let it happen in a way that recharges you. While you're burnt out, don't put the pressure of yourself or the guilt trip of you shouldn't be burnt out or whatever. It happens to all of us, because the only way you will get results in a situation when you feel like you're not is to keep going. If you stop, you'll never get those results. Next, we're going in with a product that's a little unreleased, but it is cleansing. Consider it a fungal fighter. I do get fungal acne on my forehead sometimes, so this is Chef's Kiss, but it's honestly just like really good when you're out and about at the gym, in the morning, at night, before makeup, after makeup, when you just want to make sure that your skin is clean. And it's such a nice mister. It even smells clean, like no fragrance wise, but that just made me feel like I am clean. Stay tuned. What would Tyler do as a parent? Make your kids get their own cars or buy cars for them if possible? I know you said you wanted 6 kids, so that would be a hefty penny. Every parent has a different style, obviously. I know a couple of parents who got two out of their 3 kids their own cars, but they didn't get the third one a car because they said they couldn't afford it. One of the ones who they got a car for asked them if they could get the third one a car, but they said no. I know one parent who got one of their 2 kids' cars. The other is planning to buy his own once he gets to the military. As somebody who has bought all of her cars except the car that I got after I totaled my first car, which by the way was not my fault. My first car I bought was a lemon. Didn't know that. Oh. Sorry, you guys, not me gatekeeping. This is the Dr.Melaxin Calcium Volume Multi-Balm. It's a smooth core stick collagen extract. Is it showing? Oh no. I don't know what's up with the focus today, but this is a new product I'm trying. Everybody's been raving about it online, and they asked if they could send it to me, so I was like, duh. But I see if everybody just kind of like puts it in their creases. I grew up in a household where you're gonna work for what you have, and that's something that I do plan on continuing into like being a parent myself. The goal is to be rich, obviously. The goal is to be financially well, and even then, I would still make my kids work for their cars. I also, you don't know parent situations, like maybe they did plan to get all 3 of their kids a car and the economy sucked, took a hitter, somebody lost their job, things changed. I would never intentionally buy, if I'm going to intentionally buy my kids cars, one of my kids a car, I have to be in a place to buy all of them a car. I just don't think that's fair, because that is a privilege, and so you're kind of giving one or some of your kids a privilege that you're not then giving your other kids. If they intentionally did that, I think that's like fucked up. I would be so upset. Does Tyler also think she or dad should teach the kids how to drive or send them to driving school, have their own siblings or boyfriends and girlfriends teach them? One, I think that regardless, me or my husband can teach the kids. I did do driving school and I feel like it was so beneficial. That I'll pay for. I will send my kids to driving school. And then also when it comes to like, having somebody else, as long as they like have their license. My younger brother drove my car. I had friends who drove my car to learn how to drive. So at the end of the day, if my kid wants to go and drive their boyfriend's car, I'm probably not going to be with them 24/7. So they're probably going to drive their boyfriend's car. I would just hope that my kids are being safe and they are driving somebody's car who does have a license and knows how to drive. I just wrapped up with with the Future Wise Slug Cream. It's a barrier repair moisturizer. Fun fact, if your skin is in the shitter, like absolutely in the shitter, and you're trying all these treatments and stuff and it's not working, it's probably because your skin barrier is so damaged. When your skin barrier is really, really damaged, it's actually really hard for it to work with the products you're using. So if you haven't tried restoring or strengthening or healing your skin barrier, put that on your to-do list. All right, we have 2 more questions. I'm gonna give you guys a little lip combo thing that I do even after my skincare. So this is the Maybelline Lifter Gloss Hyaluronic Acid in 04. It's called Silk. So I take this and I just put a little bit on my lips. This is from Mob Beauty. This is their lip balm in I don't know. Okay, so it's their black one and you're like, Tyler, what? But I use this to add just like the perfect natural type of purple hue. I love a little bit of like a purple flush. Do you see what I mean when I say like just like a purple like skin kind of flush? I don't know. If you guys are loving this week's episode so far, I've been having so much fun with them. Last week went so well. The amount of like love you guys gave and the fact that anonymous submissions literally started rolling in instantly. I get a notification every time there's a submission and I was like, oh, maybe it's like an accident that I've gotten like a double notification, triple notification, like whatever. No, you guys clocked the form so fast and I love it. I really enjoy these. And don't forget to also comment down below what routine you guys want to see me do. Go into the comments and make sure you give it a thumbs up. I hated saying that. You know, they're always like, make sure you're subscribed, make sure I like literally my skin crawls, but make sure you thumbs the video up and make sure that you're subscribed. I will not beg about that. I'll be willing to share my story about the importance of heart health, why advocating for your health can save your life. February is Heart Health Awareness Month, but September 19th is Aortic Dissection Awareness Day too. I can't talk in terms of why behind the infection, but I can talk and offer that it could happen and did happen to me. But here I am today and blessed for each day I have here on this earth. So I know who this is. And the biggest key takeaway I want you guys to take without knowing the full context of this person's story, only because they didn't share it, so I don't know if they like want it to be shared, especially like who it is and stuff like that. When you feel as though something is wrong with you, when you feel as though somebody's not taking your health seriously, do not back down. This person advocating for their health is the only reason, well, not only, but this person advocating for their health, I have to think is probably one of the biggest reasons why they're still here today. And okay, it makes me a little sad to think about it. Not a little, but there's an honest truth in saying that without this person advocating for their health, by advocating that something was wrong, if you know something's wrong with you, don't let anybody else tell you otherwise, because I truly do believe that that's why this person's here today, and I don't know what I would do if they weren't and they hadn't advocated for themselves. I love you. My camera's gonna die, but that's okay, because this is called Rapid Fire. For those of you that never watched a podcast episode, we had an anonymous submission every single week, and it was a list of rapid fire questions. To this day, I have no idea who it is. I don't actually want to know because I feel like the lore is like so fun, but they would send in a list of questions and we would go through them rapid fire. And then there was one that they had sent after the season had stopped that I never got to answer, so I figured we're gonna go through them really fast. We have 7%. Gotta get an outro too. Are you intentionally generic when talking to certain people? No, not really. If I don't like you, I just won't talk to you. Cereal or French toast? Depends on the cereal, but I'm gonna go with French toast. What was a moment that you saw something and thought this person is delusional as hell? Every time that I go on social media, specifically TikTok. Honestly, the last time I really thought it was when Michaela told me to sit down and prepare for her to tell me she's getting a divorce. What is one word that wouldn't describe you? Ill-intended. Is that 2 words? Is it normal to take a few days before responding to people, no matter how much you like them in general? If you are in a relationship or something with somebody, no, that is not okay. But I do take a few days to answer people on like a general basis. It's not on purpose. I just either I completely forgot, I thought I answered in my head, or I'm sleeping. I don't know. What makes you only want to connect with someone on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, etc.? I know you can't hang out with everybody, but what would be something that would make you only want to keep things digital? Parasocial relationships online and what I've seen them do to people. Do you ever watch people on social media solely due to boredom? No, like I'll doom scroll, but I'm not gonna sit on a video just like, do you know what I'm saying? Like there has to be something that's entertaining me. Oh my God, guys, we're down to 5%. Do you ever compliment people because you feel sorry for them? If I feel like they're having a bad day, but I never give a false compliment, whatever my compliment is something that I actually think about them. Did you ever have interest in someone, but it faded because they didn't make their intentions clear? Or do you have a long-lasting interest in people? I know some people, if you give friendship energy for too long, it'll fuck them up. If you guys have watched this episode and the last episode, you know the answer. If you could give anyone 10 grand right now, who would it be? Myself. Do you take late night messages through text or any platform as a sign of interest? Like if you message someone at 2 a.m. or someone messages you at like 1:14 like I am now. Yeah, I'll take it as interest, but it's not interest that I'm going to entertain. maybe in the morning if you're lucky. That was it for this week's anonymous submissions. I know it's a little bit late, you guys, but it's been a lot under the weather. Woke up today with a migraine. I'm in my luteal phase. The girls will know it's been a rough one, but I'm so glad that we got this episode out. I'm so glad that you guys are using the anonymous submission form. It makes me really happy. You guys have no idea. There may have only been one love letter this week, but it still made me, it still made me feel good. And the love letter was, they said, keep being awesome. I'll try my best. I love you guys. I'll see you guys next Wednesday. I'll be on time. Don't you worry. I would love to say 6 p.m., but the timing thing, if you know about Tyler time, it's a little, but Wednesday. I will see you guys next Wednesday. Sometimes when I'm ending these, I'm like, I don't want to stop yapping. You guys know I'm a yappy motherfucker. I never want to stop yapping, but I love you guys. I'll see you guys Next week is March. You guys are about to find out what it means for my birthday to be in March. We celebrate all month long. So actually, should I do a giveaway next week for my birthday? I guess you guys will just have to find out. Bye.